this one I wanted to talk about this because we were talking about this in the back. Um, Dating women that have father issues. Pretty much, their father was not in their life.
Ooh,
I continue.
child.
I don't have a. We don't have a video, so I do have an article saying that women who tend to not being raised with a father normally have issues when it comes to dating. I mean, one time Kevin Samuel covered it, Jesse Lee Peterson covered it, Tommy Sotomayor covered it, Angry Man covered it, Anton from AntonDale.com covered it. A lot of people within the space and outside the space cover it because I also saw people doing it also in the UK in podcast. They having discussions where they will have women on the panel, fresh and fit. They will have women on the panel. They will always talk about the aspect of women not having fathers in their life. And then not only that, but when they start dating someone, it becomes difficult. Now, according to this article while I was reading, getting prepared for the story, it stated that women tend to who don't been raised with a father, only been raised with a mother, they tend to have emotional disorder. They don't know how to handle themselves emotionally because they only know that one side, which is the mom side, but they don't have the other side, which is the father. So we're gonna dive right in. Of course, lady, you welcome to join the panel. Ladies who was raised with a single mother and disagree with what I'm saying. Disagree with all the men who's saying that then women who's raised without a father becomes very difficult. But I experienced it firsthand dating women that was dealing. I came, you know my story, dealing with women that wasn't raised without a father, and it seemed like they very combative. They want to fight you all the time. They want to argue, and I can see why.
Ooh.
Now I'm starting to see why. Jordan, you was raised on the opposite. You seen the opposite side. Your wife who was raised with a father, but you see how she is. So you could kind of see both sides of the party. And Hakeem, you already know your story. So
Oh my
let's dive
God.
right in. And don't
Ooh, child.
look, hey, look. Next level said the same thing. Next level, you can come on the panel. Don't be afraid.
Do me a favor
Don't be
next.
afraid. You don't have the camera. But look, next level even says that flawless behavior is real for men and women. But of
Yeah.
course, I don't date men. I only date women. So that's why I'm talking about the women. So, uh, Hakeem, let's dive in. Go right ahead, my brother.
So, and I want to tell women we're speaking from a man's point of view, anecdotal experience, since women are the end product for us. So as I've noticed, compared to dealing with women with a father and no father, there is a big difference. There's a lot of trauma there. A woman tends to don't want to take accountability for instance. I'm just speaking from my own experience, dating somebody and trying to get somebody to acquiesce to what you're trying to do. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of y'all might say there's a patriarchy, excuse my language, but a lot of it's just dealing with human interaction. You know what I mean? And sometimes if you raise in the house and you haven't had much interaction with men in the beginning of your life and you jump out there and you have an interaction, it's going to be hostile. I've been in hostile situations just dealing with people who had issues with their fathers. You know what I mean? And the relationship hasn't lasted. Then I was raised with my father and stepdad. So you see, you're a different scenario, Sugar Bum. But we are talking about, and how does that affect emotionally in a relationship and when it goes to dinner? You can't, and here's one clear distinction that we get dealing with a woman who was raised with a father or not, the way she talks to you, her tone. You know you can't talk to a man any kind of way, and it might escalate to a certain level. You know what I mean? Because we all are on the defense mode. You know what I mean? I've noticed women that say, you know what I mean, who will take it up a notch. And even though she could take it up a notch, you can't say nothing. You know what I mean? You can't get in her face. You can't do nothing because that's a woman. You got to respect her. But is she allowed to do that compared to a woman who has been raised with a father or something like that? And I'm just making a clear distinction from my own experience.
And not only that, but according to this article as well, it also stated that sometimes a woman who's not been raised without a father sometimes leave with a dysfunctional decision when it comes to relationship and men. Go ahead, Jordan. Don't be afraid.
I,
Y'all
I
don't be
couldn't
afraid. There's a
agree
real
more with
conversation
that.
here.
I couldn't agree more with that.
Y'all
Like I
scared. Don't
said,
let Sugar Bum, don't let Sapphire Grace scare you guys. They
I
love
wouldn't.
us, but it's just an open discussion. Go
It's
ahead.
open pen.
Go
I'm
ahead,
not
Jody.
scared. I mean, I've been on this earth 33 years, and I've seen some stuff. I see some stuff high school, I see some stuff in college, see some stuff in the real world, family, friends. I've seen a lot of stuff, and you can really, really tell who was raised, who had a father, not just a father, who had a father figure in their life, just just to see some type of respect for a man. Because I just feel like when you don't have a father figure in your life, you don't know the level to respect a man. Or and also it's just like your first love of a father figure, it's not there. And the thing is, when you don't have a first love with a father figure, you look for somewhere else and everything, and when you with somebody, you just don't know how to operate. You don't know what to do. And when you get emotional, you might take it to the next level, to the extreme and everything. And it could be verbal abusive, it could be physical abusive, and then it might could turn to she might turn maybe a little bit more masculine out of the ordinary, and she doesn't know that. She might think it should be that's it is what it is. That how they would say it is what it is. And and like I said, it can hurt the woman, and it also could hurt the person they're in a relationship with. And that's the case. It could turn really, really toxic and everything, and it can be turned so toxic when it comes get so maybe so violent to extreme violent. Lives could be lost, lives can be lost and everything. And we hear all the time in the United States of America how you know when it talks relationships, somebody deleting the other, somebody deleting the other, a woman's deleting a man, or more of the case, a man is deleting a woman. There's and we see all this type of things. So I just feels like you know when it comes to women, if you don't have a father figure or anything like that, get some help, get some therapy, you know learn how to fix your traumas and everything, and learn how you can make yourself to be your best version of yourself and everything. And if you want to build a relationship and everything, get some therapy, fix your traumas. If you don't have like a father figure, maybe you can find a life coach that's a man that can help you out with that. Counseling, all different type of things that can really help you out to order to save relationship. Because like I said, I see some things with friends that that they're really dysfunctioning, and they did not had not just a father, no type of father figure, no granddad, no uncle. And I see some women that be cussing out the storm, and then and definitely have my jaw dropped, because I just seen some crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And I'm just like, for me, I'm glad, as a father, I could show, my father, love, affection, and also respect, how to, not just, how, the daddy daughter thing, but how should you respect men in general, how should you treat a man. Also in the marriage, how, how my wife treats, me, and also how do I treat my wife and everything, she can see those things, and then she could develop those skills. So once she gets older and if she wants to, get a boyfriend or get married and like that, she has the necessary tools, um, to use those tools, and to be wife ready, or be in a relationship if you want to be married or not. Just be prepared and everything. And I do, like I said, I do see a lot of black fathers stepping out. I believe we did a stat a year ago that out of all the races, black fathers are more involved with child's lives than any other race. So hopefully in the next generation we can see our generation alphas, as I could say, because that's what my daughter's in. We can see the next generation step up, and maybe we can see better relationships, not more toxicity, not less toxicity. I'm sorry, and maybe we
Hmm.
see more marriages and everything. So to my black fathers, shout out to the black fathers who's being there doing their part, and let's just make the next generation better.
And not only that, but the article also stated that women who tend to be raised without a father also make bad choices when it comes to selecting men. I do agree with that, but I also disagree at the same time because Even women that have been raised with fathers still made bad decisions on choosing men. However, the number may be small, but still they still pick on bad men too. I think women are attracted to whoever they are attracted to. Now, Sugar Bun in the comment, I know she's twerking because you're like, men go through the same thing, men go through the same thing, men go through the same thing. We know that. The issue is what we have in today's society is that we're not holding women accountable. We hold men accountable all the time. When a man doing something wrong, the woman always say, it's the man's fault. It's the man's fault. It's the man's fault. It's the man's fault. We can do that all day on the podcast, all day, every day. But at some point, it's a woman's fault too. Women need to do more development within themselves. To go back, forgive your father, go seek the therapy you need so you can have a healthy and better marriage, healthy and better relationship with your partner, healthy and better relationship with your kids. When you go back and forgive your father, Jesse Lee Peterson, he talks about that a lot about going back and forgiving your father. Hell, I had to go back and forgive my father. Hakeem went back and forgive his father. Jordan, you went back and forgive your father. So men are doing the necessary steps, but it seems like the women get away with a lot of stuff. And that's what we have in today's society. Go ahead, Akeem.
I agree with you, man. I do think that there's a biasness and there's a level of leniency when it comes. You know, I mean, we're always on a microscope from our own people and for everything. So when we start to talk about human interaction and we talking about what's going to make each other happy, we understand that there's certain elements that we have to do to make black women happy, but there are certain elements you got to do to make black men happy. What can we do to work together? We're trauma-based people, so all we doing is trauma bonding. You didn't have a daddy in your life. I'm dealing with systemic racism. I'm dealing with um
Mm-hmm.
I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with not being able to find the type of work. I'm dealing with living up to your expectations. I'm dealing with me also not having a father at home. Me also having an issue. Um, me
Of course,
also
Stephanie, we'll give you 10 minutes. We'll give you
we're
10 minutes.
getting
Even if we move on to another topic,
we
we'll
yeah
come back to this topic. I know
yeah.
you probably have a lot to say, but go
You
ahead,
know what I
Akeem.
mean? So we're also dealing with this. So how can we work with each other and we both take accountability? So now you saying Sugar Bum saying it's a witch hunt. Sugar, we can't address if we're speaking from a man perspective. If you would like,
Correct.
you could come on the panel and speak from a woman perspective on daddy issues affecting when dealing with a man. We speaking from a man perspective. I've dated women who had daddy issues and it does not last. You feel what I'm trying to say? And a lot of it is the lack of respect in this and how much patience I can have to give you. I thought you would have done the healing work before you got to me. Because we heal through conversation and we healing through sex. Lots of it.
Correct.
Trauma sex.
Fact.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa!
Whoa! I can get her down, man. No one got
Oh,
time for no
No,
stop.
no, no.
PhD.
Listen. I gotta get a
PhD.
queen. Listen, I gotta give the queen her
She
slogan.
came out of
Even
nowhere.
even
Supreme
though
Goddess PhD. Huh?
PhD, even though I was hurt recently by you.
Good. Her mic ain't working as it should.
Ooh,
Yeah.
hallelujah.
I want to say though, you talk about happiness, Hakeem, and to me that the key word is happiness, and I think when we try to make other people happy, that's to me that's the wrong thing to do, and I think we put happiness into a marriage. It's like I say, he's supposed to make me happy. It's not that's not the part of being happy. That's not one of the parts of being a marriage. It's like you're supposed to make yourself happy.
Hmm.
If I'm trying to make my wife happy, I'm failing. That's not my job. If my wife supposed to make herself happy, if she's happy and I'm happy, how and it comes together, it should work. I
Yeah.
just feel like the word happy, a lot of like I said, we put happy to a marriage. I just want to be in a happy marriage. That's the worst thing you can do because it's like you put more pressure, put more job to make someone else happy, and that's not your job. Your job is supposed to make yourself happy. So if you're happy, if you're healed and everything, when it comes to relationship, everything will work out. Point back period. So with this, being a happy marriage and everything, it's to me, the priority of being happy in marriage is not the really priority. It's your priority to make yourself happy. Point blank period.
See, Sophia, luckily she's working on the plumbing. You know why? Because she's scared. Here's someone luckily I'm working on. And now that she said, PhD, please help them out. It's nothing to help us out with. Sophia, we've been even even a woman would tell you she have daddy issues. A
Woo!
woman would clearly say that in public. Like
Woo!
you could tell she have daddy issues. The way she dealing with that man. So let's stop the game here. Not only that, but I'm gonna be honest. Men don't really have daddy issues. We really have mommy issues because we mad at our mothers. Because the simple fact is our mama lied to us about women, telling us, oh, we need to open doors, we need to do all of this things to all these women, and realize the women don't really like those things deep down inside. So a lot of men are upset about that more
It's
than their fathers. I'm being
it's
honest. Go ahead,
it's
Jordan.
not just anything, right? It's not just a lie. It's like, we used to do that, but that was back in their time, our mother's time. We can do that. We can't do that at this time. It's totally different change of women out here. So what our mama said about opening doors, that's not going to work because it worked back in the day. It's not working here in 2024.
I'm saying nobody's upset. Nobody's upset at the Nobody's really upset at their father. When it comes to man is not really upset at their father. They're really upset at their mama. I've been seeing men with mama issues all the time. Hakeem can tell you that we from the hood. They upset at their mama. They be like, "Mama, you lied to me. Mama, you this. Mama, you that. Mama, you everything." Even though the mom do the best thing she could do to make sure she provide for the child, make sure she's there because the father's not there. However, the whole idea of a woman should be like you ain't true. It's just not. Go ahead, Supreme Goddess PhD Diva. Welcome. Go right ahead.
How y'all doing on this fine Juneteenth?
All right,
Happy
PhD Diva, I ain't got
Juneteenth.
time for no
Happy
Juneteenth. I
Doing
ain't got
Juneteenth.
time.
well. We're doing well. We're
Happy
doing
It seems
well.
like the
Juneteenth.
crime rate skyrocketed on
Happy
Juneteenth. I ain't got time for Juneteenth.
PhD,
Okay.
but happy Juneteenth.
Thank you, thank you. So, in honor of Juneteenth, I'm gonna spare you, Jordan, my FBA brother. But you two Haitians, y'all about to get it. Now start over. Repeat everything you done said. No, Ronnie, Governor Ron, you mentioned that the article talked about women who grew up without fathers having emotional issues.
Yes.
Um, can you kind of elaborate on that and tell us what type of emotional issues these women
Um,
are supposed to have?
emotional issue where it's come the emotional issue is unbalanced. It's not balanced
Okay.
because she only going on one side of the of her, I think, of her brain. She only doing the one side, which is the mom side, instead of having the other side of the which is the father side.
Mhm. All right. So the first thing that comes to mind is the beginnings of, well, not really the beginnings, but the popularization of like psychology in American society. So the 40s, 50s ish, maybe like 50s, when there was like a
Hmm.
traditional family. So, and I'm thinking white women, they grew up in homes with their moms and their dads present. However, they were the poster children for emotional issues, right? And in fact, for a long time, they were really considered the only people who could be, in my air quotes, mentally ill, right? So they were your depressed groups, they were your women with anxiety, people who had more severe, what we would call mental illnesses today were usually criminalized at that point. So, anyways, these women were called hysterical, right? So that means that
Hmm.
they, had very imbalanced emotions. And one of the treatments for that was a hysterectomy. Nevertheless, we know that that's all quackery now. However, it doesn't take away from the fact that the women who grew up in middle class environments with both mom and dad present in the home were the ones displaying all of the emotional imbalances. And so, how would you respond to that in light of what the article presented?
No, because if you go by like people and if you go by back then and not only that, but like they only do it a one part survey or one part study where there's just two parents in the household and not the parents in the household. It kind of make it difficult. However, when we dating these women out here, and when you see people having trouble in relationship, most of the time when it comes to man and woman, most of the time the guy will always state it. You probably heard it all the time, especially in the hood. She have daddy issues. They
Mm-hmm.
never say she had mama issues. They always say she had daddy issues.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly, if everybody in a particular group is saying the same exact thing, then it must be true.
Not necessarily. It could just be propaganda. So let's move to today.
Okay.
where when we talk about white women and their